Get ready to do a little haunting in the Ravenwood world from the Life and Death expansion pack. This world is rather eerie and possibly the most interactable world in the whole game, certainly a big win. And the Ravenwood has a total of 3 neighborhood areas and 13 lots. Also yes, you'll see a lot of ghosts roaming around in this world. We'll start out in the most unique and mystical area, being Mourningvale, and around the center of this area will be a small plaza with a bell tower. Ringing the bell tower can provide your sim with a small happy moodlet, and if they're not already present, then ringing the bell tower will also summon spectre ghosts that you can interact with. Sims who are in a negative mood can seek catharsis from spectres to obtain a small happy moodlet, and while active this will clear negative moodlets at twice the usual rate. And interacting with spectres can also give Sims a tarot card as well. Then if your Sim is grieving, they'll be able to ask spectres to be consoled, which will help your Sim to deal with grief. Nearby to this bell tower, there's also a tarot tome shrine, which is a great starting point to learn about the Order of Lenore and begin the quest to reunite Lady Raven Dancer Goth's tarot deck, and additionally to obtain the High Spellcaster tarot card. Once this is started, you'll then be able to use intuition on many interactable objects within the Ravenwood to obtain various tarot cards. Plus, if you run into members of the Order of Lenore, then you can assist them with favors to obtain tarot cards too. Then nearby is a town hall building, and here Sims can use bathroom amenities, read about the areas within Ravenwood, use it to focus the camera on points of interest, start a will, or even read ancient archives. There's a collector's sign outside too, which will have somebody nearby it on Sundays who will purchase select collectibles for a significant markup. In addition to cute paths to walk around and a couple of benches to sit at, there's a small graveyard that has a Dreamland casket bed in the middle of it, which essentially acts as a usable bed built into the world. Yes, a little creepy, but it could also come in handy when taking on a rags to riches or homeless challenge. This small graveyard is nearby to a path that loops around an empty lot before ending at a small paved area. This then continues to a fishing location that sits at the end of a small wooden path. A little down from this fishing spot is a large and somewhat open space that's filled with activities and interesting things to do. While there's a chess set to have games on and a violin to play, much more interestingly is the ghost cow plant that you can interact with and hopefully not get eaten by. Really, this functions very similarly to a regular cow plant, only it can't die because, well, it's a ghost. Additionally, there's a crow that you can socialize with and befriend here too. Right nearby to this area is an interactable crypt as well, and using it you can choose to nap or tell ghost stories, or you can even explore it, prompting text-based journeys and even seeing you find some collectibles such as tarot cards and crystals. Just keep in mind that exploring crypts often leads to essentially never-ending exploration that you'll want to eventually end yourself by cancelling the interaction. As well as all this, Sims are also able to woohoo in crypts too. It probably won't be your first option, but it is an option. Close by to this activity-filled area is the Baleful Bog, which is a body of water like no other. It has a purple hue and a magical, mystical vibe, and while you can simply use it to have a swim around or a glorious time floating, you can also use it to have an out-of-body experience. This will temporarily turn your sim into a ghost for 8 hours, and during this time as a temporary ghost, your sim will be able to work towards ghost mastery and unlock various ghost abilities and skills. Ghost powers also vary depending on the type of death your sim experiences, and Sims who have an out-of-body experience will be assigned a random cause of death that changes between each out-of-body experience. Just be warned, because having out-of-body experiences too frequently can lead to your sim actually dying. To prevent this from happening, once an out-of-body experience ends, you'll want to wait for the uncomfortable moodlet you're left with to wear off before going back into the bog for another, as without waiting for this moodlet to wear off, your sim will then be left with a dazed moodlet. In particular, if you have another out-of-body experience while this dazed moodlet caused by an out-of-body experience is present, then when your sim returns back to their human form, they'll immediately pass away, with their cause of death linking back to the type of ghost they were during their out-of-body experience. So in short, be sure to take breaks between these experiences. If you have a ghost sim who's completed the Dreams Fulfilled reward tier of their soul's journey, then they'll also be able to use the Baleful Bog to experience rebirth too. Nearby to the Baleful Bog is another, even larger but less ethereal body of water that you can swim in. It does feel a little swampier, but I still quite like it. And the swampy feel is rather different when compared to a lot of other swimmable locations in the game. Close by to this swimming area is a fishing spot which can be a good place to catch a cowplant berry, and then nearby this fishing space are some ruins. The open space within these ruins are where the Afterlife Anonymous gatherings take place every Monday, Wednesday and Friday between 6 and 11 PM, as well as on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 10 AM and 4 PM. During Afterlife Anonymous, ghosts will gather and give talks to each other while also getting highly distracted by everything around them. It's a great place to meet ghosts, and there will also be coffee and food on offer. Plus, if your sims are ghosts themselves, then they can admit their ghost problems, which is a good way to train up charisma while also gaining some ghost mastery experience. These ruins then branch out in a few different directions. One direction leads to some open space with a couple of plants and another entrance into some swimmable water. Then another direction leads up towards the Guardian Tree, which has a wide range of interactions on offer. Sims can view the Guardian Tree for a small inspired moodlet or listen to whispers at it, which provides varying insights depending on the lunar phase. Nearby this tree will also be a sad ghost named Alice, and she's the starting point for a quest that requires you to track down and find out what happened to her 4 children. Upon completing this quest, you'll unlock 2 more rather powerful interactions on the Guardian Tree. Firstly, you'll be able to scavenge at the Guardian Tree, which will see you disappear into the tree before emerging with a range of plant produce, and this can even include rare plants like dragon fruit. Even more importantly is that this produce will all be perfect quality, which makes it worth heaps, and which means planting this produce will create a perfect quality plant. Scavenging has around a 4-hour cooldown, and it's a great way to progress your gardening collection. You'll also now be able to use the tree to refill your Sims needs, and this will completely max out your Sims needs. On top of this, there's no cooldown on how often you can use this interaction, making it rather overpowered. This area also comes alive on Wednesdays from 10 AM to 6 PM, which sees the Thinned Festivale take place. Here you can grab a bite to eat, hang out, and even offer gifts to the Guardian Tree, the latter of which can lead to various moodlets that temporarily boost the success rate of certain interactions or boost skill gain in particular areas. There will also be a tarot card reader who's often a member of the Order of Lenore, and you can offer to help them with favors to obtain various tarot cards. On top of this, you can also receive a tarot card reading from them as well. In addition, there's a Grimturn who can let you engage in a game of chance that can have various outcomes. While some are questionably positive, such as summoning the Grim Reaper, others are a little more chaotic. Like you could be temporarily turned into a ghost by forcibly having an out-of-body experience. There will also be a collector present who will buy certain kinds of collectibles for significantly inflated prices, which can be hugely profitable. Finally, there will be a merchant that you can purchase a pre-made wheel from. Continuing on from this area is a path that leads to another entry point to some swimmable water, and further on will be another explorable crypt and an additional fishing spot. Following the wooden path from here will eventually lead back to the bell tower, meaning we've come full circle, and I have to say that I am really happy with how much there is to do in the Mourningvale area. Just before moving on to the next area, I want to give a quick shout out to a very small part of the world that Sims venture to during an active career day within the Reaper career. This is a particularly gloomy looking area, and most notably features a portal to the netherworld that your Sims can release souls to. Now let's move on to look at the Whispering Glen area, which features 4 lots. Nearby to the final drought bar lies a bright blue lake, and while you can't swim in it, you can cast your line into it to catch some fish. Then close to this lake is a gemologist statue which Sims can view to gain a small inspired moodlet. Continuing across from this lake are some small picnic areas, some ruins, another large lot, heaps of lush greenery, and even a cute farm-like area that could make for a nice little camping spot. close by is an expansive empty lot, and a little above this are heaps of really adorable decorative cottages. But while the cottages themselves are decorative, there are some usable objects melded into their surroundings, including picnic benches, grills, public planter boxes, a public bathroom, monkey bars, and even a swing set. Literally, there is everything you need to go camping or have a picnic. Also, yes, there's a woohoo bush in the world too. A little up from here is a small open space next to a river with a bathroom tucked away nearby, and across the river is a large face carved into some rocks. You can view this face that's called the Ancestor too, which just provides you with a little information. Every night nearby the Ancestry face cliff will be the Moon Revelry Festival, and this occurs between 7 PM and 1 AM, with clothing being optional on a full moon. Here there are snacks to nibble on, a bonfire to dance around, and a radio and guitar to provide the tunes. Not to mention you're right nearby a stream that you can swim into. Following along this stream there's more lush greenery and another lot, and this eventually comes to a spot where you can swim onto a small island that hosts the grave of a woman named Anne, and this spot is visited during Alice's quest. Then a little down from this area are more ruins, and this is such a cool place for Sims to hang out at. And additionally within these ruins is another tarot tome shrine. There's some rather cool steps leading up from these ruins, and all the way above them there's also a crypt that you can explore as well, just like the ones within Mourningvale, although this one has a lighter colour scheme. And now let's move on to take a look at the final area within Ravenwood, being the Crow's Crossing, which has a total of 5 lots. We'll begin at the top of this area where you'll find a town hall, and this has the exact same functions as the town hall within Mourningvale. Additionally, on the elevated paved area out the front there's also a memorial cannon, and Sims can opt to fire this if they wish to. Just down from this elevated area is a large fountain featuring lots of goats. And there's ample seating all around this fountain where your Sim can take a moment to relax and chat. Then to the side of this fountain is a small space with a tree at the center, and it's here that on Monday, Wednesday and Friday between 11 AM and 5 PM that the Try Before You Die casket sale takes place. And yes, this is where you can try out caskets and even purchase them at a small discount. Further behind this space and behind the Moppy Manor lot is a little fishing location. And then if we return back to and continue down from the large fountain, there's an area with a statue of Moppy the goat at the center. Being near to this statue will provide your Sim with a small happy moodlet, and you can also view the statue to learn more about Moppy, who's kind of an icon. Continuing on from this space is a large communal area with another fountain at the center. Here there's a picnic space, chess set, and playground equipment, as well as more spectres floating around that you can chat to, seek catharsis from, and ask to be consoled. On top of this, one of these spectres called Freddy is involved in Alice's quest, and Freddy has a bow tie and a moustache. Off to the side of this area is a public bathroom, and this communal space often transforms for various festivals too. The Crow's Crossing Celebration of Life takes place on Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday from 11 AM to 5 PM, and here a memorial display will be set up that you'll be able to dedicate to a Sim of your choice. Then there's Ravenwood Family Day, which takes place on Saturday from midday to 8 PM. Here you can grab a bite to eat, interact with a crow and get to know the fabulously dressed crow handler, consult an inheritance lawyer who sometimes has fabulous shoes, sell collectibles to another collector, and search the fountain for frogs, potentially leading to finding the rare death frog and earning a small amount of simoleons if you do. On top of this, child Sims will be able to ask spectres for a gift during this festival as well, so there's a fair bit to do here. To the side of this area are 2 vacant haunted buildings that can be explored for various moodlets or even infested by ghosts. If you're a ghost yourself, then you'll be able to ghostly infest these houses, which provides a little bit of progress towards ghost mastery. Conversely, if a building is already experiencing a ghostly infestation and your Sim isn't a ghost, then they can opt to cleanse the ghostly infestation. Your Sim won't always be successful here, but if they are, then it'll lead to some pretty awesome rewards. For example, obtaining some fear and goodwill essence, potentially finding an undead cow plant that will be added to your household inventory, and if you have the paranormal stuff pack, then you'll gain some medium skill experience as well. Overall, it's really awesome, and you can sell the ghost cow plants for 5,000 simoleons a pop, so you can make some serious money doing this. Side note, you'll know a house is infested by the blue lights flashing in the windows, which is a little bit more noticeable at nighttime. Between these haunted houses is a path that transforms into a bridge across the stream leading to the old Ravenwood estate. And while the lot itself is rather awesome, of even more interest is what's beside it, being the Well of Longing and Regret, as well as a ghost named Edith who's involved in Alice's quest. For one simoleon, you can wish for a longer life, career success, riches, skill gains, easier to manage needs, and luck in love. But just be warned that while wishes can go well, they can also go poorly. On top of this, if a powerful ghost sim has cursed your sim with the otherworldly curse, then they can wish for its removal here. And additionally, sims can wish for the courage to face Edith as well. There is a chance that this can go poorly, which can hurt your relationship with Edith. However, it can also go well. And if it goes well, then you'll be granted the Courage of Edith reward trait, which will make your sim more successful when interacting with Edith, and also unlock the ability to use the unnerving stare interaction on other sims, which from what I can tell doesn't do all that much. You can then use the Courage of Edith reward trait to your advantage. With it, you can continually chat to Edith until you befriend her, which can take a little time. However, once you've befriended Edith, you can then ask her for the Mark of Edith, which gives your sim a +15 energized moodlet for 2 hours. And during this time, your next wish at the well will consume the mark and be highly successful. Nearby the well is also a little path leading down to Edith's grave too. Then heading back across the stream, this time via the wooden bridge, you'll notice that continuing on from the main communal area is some grassy parkland with an abundance of trees and greenery and light dirt paths. Notably within this space is another collector's sign, with a collector being nearby to it on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays during the Ravenwood Family Day. Also tucked away within this park is another tarot tome shrine. To the side of this parklands area is a large lot with a graveyard on it, and you can follow an elevated path upwards from this graveyard to an area that features a lot atop a small hill with a usable public easel on the pavement outside it. There's also a small graveyard here too with a crypt that can be explored and interacted with just like the crypts in the other world areas. Sometimes you'll find a wandering merchant ghost roaming around nearby too, and you can purchase various mysterious merchandise from this ghost, including tarot cards and cowplant essences. Going further upwards from here up a steep pathway is another lot, and notably there's a public telescope looking off into the distance that sims can make use of. Then finally there's also some steps to the side leading back down to the town hall. And that's all of the Ravenwood world secrets and features. Overall, I think it's probably the most interactable world we've ever gotten, and I'm super happy about that. I would love it if this level of interactability became the standard. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then consider checking out some of my other videos on world secrets and features. And I hope you have an amazing day. See you later!